There you go, rock steady, not even the slightest sign of nerves. Welcome back to The Quest, where we were meant to be coming back for the final episode of Season 1, but it's not worked out that way. Inexplicably, we've made progress in the Irish Cup. We've got to the semi-final stage, and we've been drawn against a side that's not even in the top division. Ballyclare are going to be our opponents in both of today's games, even though they play in the division above us. Let's show you what's been going on. We've got a brace of cup games for today's game. We're going to be playing Ballyclare at the National Stadium, Windsor Park, in the Northern Irish Cup semi-final. We're then going to play Warrenpoint in the league, but I'll do that one off camera before we come back for another game against Ballyclare, this time in the Intermediate Cup semi-final, which I'm thinking is a little bit like the Northern Irish Johnston Paints Papa John's Leyland Daft Trophy. This game has added intrigue because Ballyclare Comrades are also the club that stole our goalkeeper from us. He's going to be cup tied for today's semi-final, but we would be an awful lot stronger if we had Andy Finlay between the sticks. Alas, that's not going to be the case. He's earning the princely sum of £50 a week now paying for Ballyclare and seems to be starting for them in the league, even though he's not performing very well. So that gives just an added little incentive to try and get one over on them. Were we, and it is a big were we, to make it to the final, it looks like we would be playing Crusaders, who are, well, one of the most successful teams in Northern Irish football. 7 times winners of the top flight, 6 times winners of the Irish Cup. It would be incredibly tough, but we got to the semi-final stage by beating Ballymena United, themselves a top flight club, and we did it really comfortably. Look at the XG of over a 2. They didn't even get an XG of a 1. They only had 3 shots on target during the entire game. We won this game despite a spluttering display from our fabulous duo up front, who have been none too fabulous, actually, over recent games. We scored in the 76th and then the 79th minute to book our place in the semi-final. You'll see since the last episode, we've been on a great little run, apart from 3 games that have just cost us and might mean that we can't win the title anymore. We drew 3-3 with Cove, who were bottom of the table, and then drew 2-2 with Police Service from Northern Ireland, who are second bottom in the table. Those drop points meant that we lost ground on the team at the top of the table. And in our most recent game, well, we lost 2-1 to Distillery, who are a big club. They're up there towards the top of the table, but it means we're now 4 points from the summit of the league. We're 1 point ahead of Distillery. We're going to be playing Warrenpoint between our 2 semi-finals today. They're only 3 points behind us. The loser of the Warrenpoint game, I think, is out of promotion contention, but we really need a win in that game just to try and cling on to Armagh at the top and just to try and stay ahead of Distillery in that race for the second place playoff position. And the second place team will go into a playoff with the team that finishes 11th from the division above, which looks at the moment like it's going to be Ballina Mallard, Knockbrader. Well, it's between those two, isn't it? Newington, they've gone down with just 9 points this season. God bless them. So that's the state of play. The form has been good, even though performances probably haven't. And our front 2 have been very in and out recently. Kelly has been, well, he's got 16 goals in 22 games, which looks fabulous. But when he blows cold, he really does blow cold. He goes from scoring to throwing in 6.5s to scoring to throwing in 6.4s to scoring to throwing in 6.8s and 6.4s again. He's either very, very good or very, very not. And old Bobby Mack, well, his form hasn't been an awful lot better. He's got 2 goals off the back of a 6.4 performance, and then has followed it up with a 6.5 and a 6.3. We don't really have any good options to try and rotate in and out of the squad. We've also lost a player. Our Portuguese winger that we bought in has been recalled by his parent club because they were unhappy that I was playing Alexander Machado on the left wing when apparently we'd agreed to play him on the right wing, and that was too much for them to bear, and they have hot-footed him back to Institute. So he's no longer with us. But we do have some new players because we've had our youth intake and it was not horrific. I've actually given contracts to a few of them. So we've got Simon Frame, who I'm assuming is the younger brother of our right back. I'm not sure if that's true. Great personality. He's got good natural fitness and he's a fabulous finisher. And it seems to me that finishing counts for a little bit more in FM24 than it might have done in previous versions of Football Manager. Before, as long as you had good physicals, your finishing could be 1 and you'd still be hitting 20 goals a season. I've got a couple of strikers up front for Llama Park this season who physically have got some gaps in their game, but they've both got good finishing and they've both been scoring goals. Coupled with that off-the-ball movement, if we can improve him physically, if we stay at Llama Park, I reckon Simon Frame could be a good squad player for us. We've also brought in Liam Walsh from our youth intake. Bad personality this time. Fabulous hair. Only 15. Very good physically, so we're hoping that he might develop as well. Our next that's come in is Johnny Kelly. Very, very small. Only 5'2". Good personality. Again, very reasonable hair game. And just enough about him technically and mentally that we thought we might be able to make a player out of him. And I think there might be one more lurking down in the under-18 somewhere that we've offered a contract to and hasn't signed it yet. So not a disastrous youth intake, but we have got 2 pretty significant episodes coming up now in our development of the quest. We're going to try and reach 2 cup finals today. If we could do that and beat Warrenpoint, well, we would go into the final episode of season 1 with a chance of potentially being promoted and winning 2 trophies. That would be beyond our wildest expectations. If we lose all 3 games today, then we might not even make the playoffs, as well as whimpering out of 2 cup competitions. And the season, considering where we've got to, would feel a little bit limp. So we're hoping that we can do some magic today. If we could make an Irish Cup final, honestly, that would be immense. We're going to pick... Let's... we should be winning and booking our place in the final. Don't let me down. I don't know how true that is. We're playing a team from the division above. Let's tell them to go out and put on a show instead. Now, look at that, the National Stadium. I'm not sure we needed such a vast arena for this game. I think we probably could have played it down at the local leisure centre. But it's always nice to play at a national stadium for a big game. Our dream is to lead a team out at a major European final. A major domestic semi-final is a good start in season 1 when you start out in the Northern Irish 3rd Division, though. Let's get an early shout out and encourage the team. They've not made the brightest of starts. Comrades have had 2 shots already. We've done absolutely nothing. And do you know what? We've not even had any possession. We're down at under 40% of the ball. And already, I feel like our superior opponents are making their impression on the game a lot more effectively than we are. Here's Ambrose. He's got the ball to McElveen. We've gone over the top. Here's Bobby Mack. He's in. He's fleet-footed. He's placed it wide, Bobby. He has just gone off the boil over recent games, I'm afraid, young Bobby Mack. And Mark Kelly has not been at the races either. They're playing a Brazilian box-ish formation. They've been watching my videos over on the manager's seat. Now they're using it against us. Here's Beverland. McLaughlin. We've got the ball back, though. Here's Adekunle. He's got Bobby Mack in again. And this time Bobby does it. Well, you can't keep a good Mack down, can you? He's been quiet recently. He spurned that first one-on-one opportunity. But Ambrose wins the ball in midfield. Adekunle, that's a beautiful little ball. That's what we brought him in for. And Bobby Mack doesn't even flinch as he sweeps it past Ian Walker in goal. And now we are 1-0 up in a cup semi-final. We could be going, not to Wembley, I guess we come back to Windsor Park, but we could be coming back to Windsor Park. We're 1-0 up, even though, again, this is the Llama Park motto. Not sure we deserve to be. We're back underway. We're having a bit of a disaster down the right-hand side. Frame is on a 6.3, and then the right winger Ambrose is on a 6.5. We'll have to keep a little eye on that. Not that we can do anything about the right-back situation. We don't have another one of those. But we could bring on another right winger. There is Ambrose. He just ambles down the line and gives the ball away. Now he's got it back again. He's drifted it inside. Now we've got it to McElveen. He gives the ball away and gets it back again. We're a bit sloppy in possession. And again, we return the ball to the opposition. Nobody wants to keep hold of the football here. Ambrose has got a chance to get in behind their defence. Unfortunately, they've come away with the ball and Leach plays it through to Donnelly. They've blazed one over the bar. We have got to get a grip of the ball in midfield. I guess the fact that they're playing 4 in there means that we are being heavily outnumbered. We might jump into the tactics and see if we can make a bit of a change. I've decided to tweak things a little bit just to try and give us some more numbers in midfield. So I've brought McNeil off the bench for Mark Kelly, popped him into the DM slot, and I've made a little change over on the right wing as well. McKinney's come on, and I've pushed him up to an attack and Frame up to a support. They're pretty narrow, so I'm going to try and double up against them down the flanks, as well as giving us 3 in the midfield to see if we can try and wrestle a bit of control of this game. We've got a corner that McKinney sent in. He's going to get the ball back from McKim, and he's worked a bit of an angle in, got the ball into the box, but it's not led to a chance. Now we've got Brennan in. He could cut in onto his left or give it to McKinney. 2-0. Are we going to say that that's all due to the tactical changes? No, we're not, but we're going to praise the players. We're 2-0 up in the semi-final here, kids. McElveen gives it out to Brennan. I thought he would cut onto his left and shoot. Instead, he gives it to McKinney, who just ducks inside, and he's only been on the pitch a matter of moments. He's playing on the opposite flank there to where I've brought him on the pitch from that set play, and he's managed to get us 2-0 into the lead. We've got a healthy XG, but we've not really created very many chances. But a third goal would kill off the game. Here we go. We've got the ball with Adekunle. Oh, he struck a post. Bobby Max had a go and the keeper's pushed it away. We're starting to look a bit more threatening since we moved to this 3-man midfield. I'm going to see whether they make any kind of change to their formation to try and counter it. They've got in behind us here. Tommy Walsh gets the ball into the box. He's going to have another go. He sent it in. Declan Donnelly. Martin almost carries it over his own goal line then. That might not even be the highlight, you know, because it's carried on. He's blasted it up to Brennan, who's managed to, I think, foul the fullback and get him past him. And he's having a little go here. Bobby Mack makes it 3. Come on now. This is a team in the division above us. Yeah, we drop points against the teams at the bottom of our division and blow our promotion hopes. But you put us in a cup against a team from a higher division and we look golden. And Bobby Mack takes that on his left, passes it into the corner of the net. We are 3-0 up with 20 minutes to go. And we are looking pretty healthy in this game. I reckon we could even freshen things up a little bit. Let's see who's struggling. We'll throw on a little bit of time wasting. Just settle it down now, boys. Changing Frame's role has had no impact on his performance whatsoever. Graham's up to a 6.6 at least. We only have one right back, so Frame knows that he's never getting dropped. But we've just won the first of our semi-finals 3-0. That gives us a little bit of hope ahead of the Intermediate Cup semi-final against the same opposition. We're going to congratulate them on making the final. That's going to be a nice little game to come back for in the final episode of Season 1. But we're going to play that Warrenpoint game next, and then we'll see you back, where we're going to take on the Comrades for a second semi-final. We didn't want to win the league anyway, did we? We've just got well and truly whooped by Warrenpoint. They've beaten us 5-2. A couple of their goals came late on as we were chasing an equaliser because we got it back to 3-2. But we were second best in this game pretty much from the off. They scored after 7 minutes. Framey got one back from a set piece after 22. They got a penalty. They went 3-1 up. McElveen scored from a direct free kick. Our mate Bobby Mack missed chance after chance and then missed another chance, which was pretty disappointing because top of the table Llama did drop points in their game. They only drew, but it was Distillery that were able to close the gap rather than us. So now we're looking like we're struggling to make second place in the playoffs. There's only 2 games left. We've got to win them both and hope Distillery drop points. Those 2 games are going to be against Banbridge and Rathfrilland. Banbridge are in 11th. Rathfrilland are in 6th. Meanwhile, the team that are in 2nd are going to have games against Ballymacash Rangers and Limavady. So they're going to be playing 9th and they're going to be playing 5th. I wouldn't bank on them losing either of those games, but you never know. We're going to have to do our bit But before we do that, we've got semi-final number 2 to try and wrap our chops around. Adekunle's cup tied for this, but McLaughlin isn't, so he's going to come into the midfield. McElveen's going to move over and be the box-to-box player. We've got to do something about Kelly, you know. He's really off the boil. I think we might just have a little bit of a chat with him before we go out there. Criticise his recent form. Play better to stay in the first team. You don't want to sit on the bench. He's going to work harder. All right, good lad. Glad you understand. Keep working hard. Maybe that will galvanise him. And they've got a highlight through McConville. They've played it into the midfield to Moody. Look at the numbers they've got. But we've managed to cut the ball out. All right. Let's say that we comfortably play out from the back. And here's Bobby Mack. He's rampaging. He's got nothing in the box apart from Jakey McNeil, who scoops one. High, wide, certainly not handsome on that occasion. But that was a good opportunity that we worked. Let's encourage the players as well. Didn't get the shout out in time for this highlight. Let's see what we can do. Framey back to his keeper. It's slow, methodical. Some would say cumbersome build-up. Here's McNeil all the way back to Moan. Out to little Framey. He's actually having a little run. He's gone nowhere. We've given the ball away. Brilliant. Moody to Walsh. We should deal with that. Oh, no. Graham had all the time in the world. Instead, he heads it to Paddy McGuinness. And we're a goal down. Genius. Genius play from our defenders. Oh, it's a low level of football that we're starting out at. Oh, look at this. He's got all the time in the world. No, I won't take it. I'm going to head it straight to their fullback. It's a good ball in, to be fair, and perhaps a little absence of marking there by Framey at the far post. I don't know. What do you reckon, Framey? Could you have got a bit tighter? Here we go, though. Instant riposte. McKinney into the box. McElveen picks up the scraps, plays it wide. Oh, Brennan. He's gone side netting. Which looked the more likely, to be honest. That goal was more due to our defending than their attacking. I think we go into half-time a goal down. I gave them a couple of tough team talks in the Warrenpoint game. They didn't take well to them, though they are sulking a little bit. A couple of them even came and saw me after the game and said they're very sensitive and they're upset with how I'm speaking to them. So let's not go too harsh. Let's just say I want to see a much better display in the second half. We beat them comfortably in the first semi-final and we are struggling. Well, did we beat them comfortably? I suppose we were only 1-0 up when I made those tactical changes, and after that we scored 2 goals, and it made the scoreline probably look a little bit more convincing than it actually was. However, right at the start of the second half, all right, we're 2-0 down. We're going to have to change it again. Let's go 4-2-4. Let's press them higher up. And we're Hail Marying now. We're just clicking buttons that we know won't have any impact whatsoever. Oh, this is a bit disappointing. The game against Warrenpoint was poor. This has been pretty limp as well. Where is Bobby Mack? Mark Kelly, having just had a chat with him, he's still not performing. He looked great in the early part of the season. I just think maybe time's catching up with him a little bit. His physicals are just falling off the edge of a cliff. And he's not really proving his worth at the moment. We might even need to think about changing the formation for the final few games and playing with just one up front. We're giving the ball away at will in midfield. They're running through the centre of us. As you'd expect, you know, they've got 4 central midfielders and 2 strikers. We could get a goal back here. You never know. Game might be on again. Kelly's there. That's better. You present the veteran a chance from 3 yards out. He can still tickle it over the line. Brennan did very well down on the left. That fullback's just Baywatch jogging next to him without putting in a challenge. And Kelly sweeps it home. It's back on. It's back on. Let's, we'll go with encourage. I mean, we're ahead on the XG. We shouldn't be behind in this game, really. We'll demand more this time. 15 minutes to go. It's a highlight. It's not us in possession of the football. Declan Donnelly's over a free kick. He's not exactly rushing to take it either. Oh, we ducked underneath the ball. Great. Declan is the man that took the deep free kick. We duck underneath it. They have so much time to hold it up that he's able to race 40 yards and then finish. I reckon Mona probably could have got on the end of that. It's not even like Declan sprinted to score that. He's ambled 40 yards and still stroked it into the net. And I guess there goes another cup final place. Jackie Graham is on a sub-6. Jakey McNeil has struggled. Bobby Mack has struggled. And are they about to add a fourth? I mean, we looked all right in that first semi-final. Not this one. We're on a bit of a worrying little trot. I fear we're just going to fall down the table a little bit now. It's like the players' legs have gone. We don't really have very many rotation options. We've played a lot of games, only 26 in the league, but we've participated in 93 different cup competitions, pretty much with the same starting 11, more or less. And it showed there. We look very, very leggy. We dominated the XG. They've scored 3 goals without hitting an XG of 1. It's hard to know just how critical we should be. I'm just going to say I'm disappointed they've gone with it that time. We've got a bit of work to do before we come back for our final episode. Let's reverse the order of the fixtures so that you can see what's left. We're playing Banbridge. We're playing Rathfrilland. If we win both of those, we could be coming back for not just an Irish Cup final, but also for some playoff action as well. I fear, though, we might be coming back just to watch us get our backsides whooped by Crusaders in the cup final.